Hey everybody, welcome to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest on our YouTube channel. Happy St. Patty's Day to you. And no, I'm not wearing anything green. But guess what? The market is greener than, yeah, it's good, right? Yeah, I was going to say the market is green. Hey, I can't say that either. Man, oh man, but that's okay. It is a good day to be here. It's a good day in the market for 2 days in a row, nicely moving higher. My advance to declines, I can't see that on here. Yeah, I can. 71% of the stocks in the VectorVest system are up today, and only 19% of the stocks in the system are going down today. All right. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, and let me know where you're tuning in from. And that's right. You know, today, Joey, I think with the shamrocks in the background, I guess my name should have been Glenn O'Tomganally. Top of the morning to you today. Welcome to VectorVest. And it's my Irish accent, and we're going to have a great day in the market today, so let's go. If you're calling in from all over the world, let me know where you're tuning in from, and let me know that I'm coming across loud and clear. You know why? Because I've got pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, green clovers, and blue diamonds. So there you go. That's about as Irish as I can get. I think that if I were to go look in my family tree, there ain't a whole bunch of Irish in my family tree. So I'm just saying. I am just saying. Mash Luxury Transportation says 400 likes and Joey will buy Glenn green shoes for St. Patty's Day. Yeah, I'm not wearing them. All right, Eton is here from Israel. I got Christine here from Jamaica. As actually Jamaica, or like Jamaica Queens, Christine. Yanni, oh man, I've got someone else from Greece here today. Normally it's Nectarios, but I got Yanni. I like that name. Takanis, Kala, si, Kala. And then on the other side, I can say a lot of bad words in Greek, but I'm not going to do that. Not loud and clear. Sounds like a bad Irish accent in my speakers. Wow, well, it was a bad Irish accent. 200 likes, and Joey will replace Glenn's shoelaces with green laces. I'm not doing that either. That's why Yanni said Kala, Kalasi. Jamaica, Christine says. You know, I can get a Jamaican accent too, you know? You know why? Because I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. So I can talk like Jamaican people as well. All right. Where's MX, Juan? Is that Mexico? Monterrey, Mexico? All right. So, man, I love that I've got people from all over the place, all over the world. And I love the reach, and I love the community of the VV Nation. So glad and blessed to have the people here that are here. Mega Mir says Vegas. I like me some Vegas. I love me some Vegas. You can get into a lot of trouble in Vegas, that's for sure. All right, if you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you'll get alerts that when new content like this live stream comes out, you will be alerted. Don't forget to hit the like button, especially if it was worth your time to stop by today for Trending Thursday. We talk about what's going on in the market. And normally, because it's only once a week, I will cover news from last week, calling all the way up until today. So it's a good way to see what's going on in the market. We always talk about what's going on in the market first before we start to look at what sectors or industries are trending. And within those sectors or industries that are trending, I've got some news articles to look at for some stocks, and then we use the power of the VectorVest system to analyze those stocks as well. VV Nation, who is running the Pirates Long? I don't know who's running Pirates Long. Let's see. John says 200 people and 32 likes. Oh my gosh, let's get Joey. Won't get Glenn green shoelaces. It's all right. I think that
VV Nation, not you.
Huh?
Jay was asking VV Nation, not you.
Oh, who's running Pirates Long? Oh, I got you. From the Big D, Detroit, Michigan. So again, I love it that so many people here are here. Joanna says Jacksonville, North Carolina. I think Glenn would look good in green shoes. Joanna, you know I'm a a Marine, right? So I was stationed in Jacksonville. I was stationed in Jacksonville from 1987 to 1991. I know Jacksonville. I don't know it like it is now, though. Jacksonville has totally changed since 1991. So it is what it is. All right. So VV Nation, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. I love it. Richard is tuning in from San Antonio, Texas. Like I said, Mukesh says, are you really in the North Pole, or am I just that gullible? I could be very gullible, for sure. Westchester, New York here. My parents live in Peekskill. Marcos. So, all right, let's get into what we are going to cover. If you look right here, Joey made this lovely graphic of everything you need to know about what's going on in the market, starting from our color guard. VectorVest does advocate caution while investing in stocks right now. We got a lot of yellow, moving more so from a bearish feel to a neutral feel in the market. We've had indicators that let us know when the market was starting to look for a bottom. I wasn't so sure that we were at a bottom prior to the Fed speak yesterday, of course, because finally, in case you were under a rock and you didn't hear, the Fed did finally raise the interest rate for the first time since 2018, a quarter basis points. I think it was right in line with what everybody was expecting. And it seems like so far it's baked into the market because the market is responding kindly as it continues to move higher. But there's certain things that I want you all to keep in mind. I did a video just recently about the death cross that happened on all four indices to include the VectorVest composite recently. We still have inflation. And listening to the Fed yesterday talk about inflation, his goal was to get inflation down to 2% by the end of the year, which I think is a mammoth undertaking. And I think the only way to make that happen is he's going to have to be more aggressive on interest rate hikes. And I think he left the door open to be able to do so in answering a lot of the questions, talking about the job market, talking about wages are going up, but even with the minimum wage being raised around the country in different states, the problem is it's still not keeping up with inflation. So knowing that inflation is still an issue, I'm just a little wary about the move to the upside in the market, especially, again, after the after the death crosses happen across the boards. So I'm a little tepid in advancing, but don't get me wrong. I'm always a believer of take what the market gives you and don't try to outthink the market, because every time you do, the market has a way of humbling you. So these are the things that are just on my mind in regards to what's going on in the market. And we're going to take a look at some of the news that's forming my opinion. If we look at our quick list today, all of the major indices are up today with the NASDAQ lead. Well, actually, the VectorVest composite is even higher than the NASDAQ or the tech stocks today. The VectorVest composite is up almost 1.25%, which looks at the movement of about 9,000 stocks. So with what the Fed said yesterday, and I think that it's coming to fruition right now, that the interest rate hike, because it wasn't brand new news that came out of the blue, that most people expected it and everybody's in line with it. But what I'm afraid of is that every 6 weeks when the Fed meets, he's going to have to reassess if it's really affecting inflation or not. Because if it's really not, he's going to have to get more aggressive with interest rates. And as he does that, that will take a toll on the market. Steve and I were just talking a moment ago in regards to how this will affect new earnings season that's coming up in a couple of weeks for quarter two. And I don't think that the rise right now of the quarter basis points is going to affect quarter two earnings. But as this goes on and every 6 weeks that the Fed meets, I think that people are going to feel the hurt a little bit more, as it costs a little bit more to do business by borrowing money at higher interest rates. So I'm going to take what the market gives me. That was just my little bit of diatribe in regards to what I think the market is doing. So from that perspective, Will says, thanks, Glenn. Listen, I am not an economist. I am not a talking head. I only can go by what the VectorVest system can give me and what 18 years of experience utilizing the VectorVest software can do for me, which I can relay over to you. All right. Glenn, thank you for your service. Would love to have you come back for a visit. I would love to go back to Jacksonville. My son just recently got out of the Corps. He was only in for 5 years. He got out because he was in the air wing. I was in the fleet. Me and him got jokes going back and forth. The fleet is the real Corps. The air wing is, but he's a Marine. So nonetheless, it's a little bit better than the Air Force. A lot better than the Army. Definitely better than the Navy. We're Marines. We eat crayons and we run through brick walls. That's what we do. And you know something? I will own it. Wonder if Glenn liked the DJ from this weekend's wedding. Yeah, no. The DJ from this weekend's wedding was a friend of the couple, and he pretty much just played a Spotify playlist. So they probably didn't pay for him. And if they would have hired me, I would have had to charge them a lot of money because it was a 3-hour trip away from home. I would have had to stay overnight. It would have been a lot more money for them to hire me. So I think they did what they needed to do. Hoorah, 3rd Assault Amphibian Battalion. Hoorah, Justin, 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines, 2nd Marine Division. All right, so where is the money going today? That's another topic of, with all of that, what's going on. How about big movers today? Petroleum is back on the move again. Why? Oil went briefly down below $100, now back above $100. So oil is petroleum stocks are on the move again. They took a reprieve when they took it went down from like $130 down to $90. That's a big jump in petroleum. But it looks like it's back on the rise. And one of the biggest things, too, that's affecting the market besides inflation is gas prices. How does gas prices fit into this? I did a story on Wednesday on Midday Market, which was yesterday, that several states were putting forth, hopefully, some legislation to do something called a gas tax holiday, where the federal government hopefully would get on board with it as well. The states would relax their gas tax for a little while to help the people at the pump. And hopefully the federal government's got a flat tax on gas, about 18 cents across the country. And put those two together, that could save some people a lot of money at the gas pump. So gas and inflation and interest rates, all of these intermingle together. All right, so let's do this. Let's get into the web and let's go see what stories I have in regards to what's going on in the market. Here it goes. The Fed finally moves against inflation with a rate hike. And again, it was a 1/4 basis point. And I think that everybody was right on board with that. I did go live impromptu yesterday, thanks to Joey, to be able to analyze or go right along with what the Fed was talking about during his conference yesterday. I had a few people show up, which was great. How many people did we get totally, Joey? Do you remember? About 300 people?
I don't think it was that high. It was like 280, right?
It was about 280. I'm going to call it 300. And so I want to thank VV Nation. The only way you would have known that was happening is if you hit the bell icon so that you would have gotten the alert to tell you what was going on. But it was really neat to be able to watch the market's live reaction as the Fed was having the conversation of the conference. I read somewhere that marker turning points often happen at Fed announcements. Do you know anything about that? And the answer to that, Tommy, is I don't know. And you know me, I won't talk about what I don't know. So I'm not exactly sure what marker turning points you're referring to. So I don't know, my friend. Patrick, VV Nation, saying VV Nation, thank you for being here, sir. All right, so that was my first story. This is the other side of the story, though. The Fed wrestles with the challenge of how quickly to raise interest rates. So I think that every 6 weeks as they meet, there's going to be another rate increase. And I think that he said in the conference or in the meeting or in conference, however you want to call it, that they were looking at 6 interest rates raises by the end of the year. And I still think that that is a big undertaking to get inflation from where it is now at about 8% down to 2% by the end of the year. The only way that happens, Mr. Powell, is you're going to have to raise higher than a 1/4 basis point or 1/2 basis point at one of these or 2 of these interest rate hikes. They probably got to be at 100 points. Anybody agree with that? Type a 1 in the room if you agree with that. Type a 2 in the room if you don't think he comes anywhere near 100 basis points. All right. I think that is the only way to get to that number of 2%, because if you raise a quarter or a half, man, you ain't going to get there. I don't think you get there. So I'm getting more people saying that they agree with that than not. But Eton in Israel says no. Mr. R Consultant says no. Bob says no. I just don't know how else to get to that point of 2% rather than you got it. One of those rates at least has got to be there. Chase thinks 6 more raises this year, Tommy says, and the Fed said that yesterday, Tommy. That was the anticipation. The anticipation was about 6 raises this year. If they go that quickly, the market will collapse. And that's the other side of it as well, Bob. You're right. That if they do get that aggressive, the market won't like it and we will go to a recession. Well, you know something? Before I go to this story, look at this. Forecasters see a growing chance of recession as Fed hikes rates this year to fight inflation. That was done 2 days ago. So I'm going along with you, Bob, but I think the anticipation is that we're going to go into a recession either way. It may really depend on the war, says MR Consulting. Well, that could have a factor as well, especially with all of the sanctions that we're putting against Russia, possibly to put against China. If China comes into this is going to get economically financial icky. It's going to get icky. Price of goods go up and don't come down even if inflation comes down, because it takes a minute for that to happen. It does take a minute for that to happen. Just like when oil went down, gas prices didn't go down right away as well, Asif. So just keep that in mind. They didn't go down right away. All right, so it is what it is. And here's my other story. Fed rally fades. That was this morning. Jobless claims came in. They came in better. And the Bank of England set to hike. So as we are starting to hike, I think globally more people will hike, except for China. China's trying to bolster their economy because COVID hit them hard. So China's at a point where they're trying to do some quantitative easing right now. But it seems like the rest of the world, while COVID was going on and we knew that it was a problem, the rest of the world, for the most part, was trying to keep their economies afloat. And China didn't seem that they did that right now. The bigger problem is reduction of the balance sheet from $9 trillion will reduce market liquidity. That's also true. And I thought they were almost over, the Fed was, in getting down on their balance sheet, but they're not quite as far along as I thought. They're not quite as far along as I thought, but that's going to also take money out of the market because the Fed is buying up the debt at a low rate. And if the Fed stops doing that, who else is going to buy up the debt? Investors. How do you make it more appealing for investors to buy the debt? You've got to raise what they're going to get back. And if that doesn't happen, then ain't nobody going to buy the debt. The Fed was doing it as a way of saying, fine, we'll buy it at a low rate and keep putting money in the market, As they start to take that out, there's going to be a lapse, and you're going to have to raise the rate on those bond rates for other people to buy them. Recession, nah, Yanni says. Grandpa needs to be, oh Lord, I'm not going down that path. I'm not going down that path of all the political stuff. I just won't do it. All right. Bob says, if they go that quickly, the market will collapse. And Mark says, I agree, Bob. And that's fine. Steve says 3 to 4 more raises. No raises around election. Everything is political. I don't like to be political, but you're right in regards to the elections coming up this year. That could play a role in what they do with the rates as well. All right. So those are my stories that I have in regards to what's going on behind the scenes in the market. I'm going to get back into the software, and I'm going to go to our viewers tab. Let's go to a watch list viewer, go to Trending Thursday for today. The 2 stocks that I look at to track the movement of the market, for those of you who are VectorVest subscribers, we look at the VectorVest composite, which again looks at the move of about 9,000 stocks. And then for the rest of you guys who are not subscribers to the software, we look at the S&P 500. They're still relatively low at the bottom of my 23 stocks that I have today, sorted by our master indicator, VST. So I'm going to bring up the VVC, I'm going to bring up the spiders, and I'm going to right click and let's go look at their graph and see what they look like. Let's go put them on a 3-month graph. So the Fed came in yesterday. The market liked it. There's the VVC. I do like that the VectorVest composite with yesterday's action closed above a 20-day exponential moving average with more follow through today on great volume. Earnings, though, on the VectorVest composite is falling a little bit. We do give an update on what the market's bear or bull market scenario is every Friday in the views. That's for my VectorVest subscribers. John says, let's face it, they sat on their hands for a year on these rates. Thanks to our politicians, we should have taken back 100 basis points already. Both sides don't want the rates to go up. I don't disagree with that, John. And you're right. They did sit on their hands. And your Uncle Glenn kept telling you all this time when they kept calling it transitory that it was a problem. They did not want to raise rates until their hands were forced to do so. And that's why a lot of people feel that the Fed was late to the party in starting to raise the rates. They kept saying that it was transitory, and I kept saying that that was not right. Man, one day I'm going to cuss and Joey is going to get me fired, but I'm not going to do it today. All right, I'm not going to do it today. The DEW coming, Stephanie, I'm not going to talk about that here because I got a lot of people here who are not subscribers to the software, right? So as I talk about that, let me do this real quick. If you do want to be able to get the same analysis that I do here and get the indicators that tell you when the market is looking for a top or looking for a bottom or if it's okay to go bottom fishing, all those kinds of things, 99 cents gets you access to that trial. For 99 cents for 30 days, you have access to everything that I'm showing here. Go to www.vectorvest.com/YT for YouTube. All right, so that's on the VectorVest composite. I need to get a desktop app. Who's calling me? Stop. Switch over from the mobile. I prefer desktop. You can do either way. We'll accommodate people who are either on a mobile device like a phone or a tablet, or we can help people who are on a computer as well. No, either way. One day, Glenn will be the Fed chair. Nah, because I'd be the Fed. I'd be like, this stuff ain't transitory, and I'd be looking at all the politicians. I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you. You don't scare me. I'm going to raise interest rates because we need to do it because it ain't transitory. You dig? And that's why Glenn won't be the Fed chair. All right. So that's why Glenn won't be the Fed chair. And also because I got a whole bunch of skeletons in my closet. I ain't never running for office. Y'all may vote for me, but I ain't never running for office. The S&P did the same thing, closed above my 20-day exponential moving average, more follow through today. Would like to see more volume with the move today, but just not as much. We still got about an hour and a half worth of the market being open as well. Mark says, mug before I go to swing trading, coach. Thanks, VectorVest. Mark, thank you always for being here. I'm sorry that we have these, whether it's a live stream or webcasts, back to back. I apologize for that. Is there a way to track money flow in VectorVest? I cannot find a parameter for that. And John, no, we do not track money flow in the VectorVest software. John says, Glenn, and I'll not talk about that. Will be crying with his strong. Listen, I already been called a liberal. Somebody out there already dubbed me a liberal, and I'm like, you don't know me. You don't know me. Davis here. No, see, both of y'all are going the wrong way. Oh my gosh, both of y'all are going the wrong way. Listen. Anyway, all right, so that's what's going on. The market's got a nice little move going up. Play what the market gives you. I do like that we are above a 20-day exponential moving average on an end-of-day basis. All right, so that's where we stand. The Fed talk, the news that I showed to you today, the market's moving higher. What does all that mean? It means that it's okay to take what the market gives you. But I'm just telling you to be careful. I'm just telling you to be careful. Inflation is a big issue, and it's going to play a role. It's going to play a role If not right now, it's going to play. It was playing a role prior to the war. The war is still going on. Inflation is still a problem. And I still don't think that the Fed can get to where they want to be. I just don't think so. All right, let me get back into my next story. All right. The next story is on clean energy stocks. And in this story that I have, 4 renewable energy stocks to watch in March of 2022. I don't know where this came from. This came from the NASDAQ site, and it came out a few days ago, about 5 days ago. All right. And the 4 stocks that it's looking at are Blink Charging, which I talked about in a video, a 2-part video that talked about the charging networks. Money is going out to the states to build this up. Plug Power, Renewable Energy, and Ormat Technologies. So I'm going to go pull all of these stocks up in my list, and let's go find them. REGI. All right. Now, in a list of 23 stocks, REGI sits in the top 10 or so by VST at 1.27. This is the master indicator that we use for rank analysis of stocks. What else is in this list? Blink, the charging company. This Plug is in here. ORA is in here, and there's Blink. Blink is towards the bottom. All right. So even though the EV space, I still think is going to be a good hot space, it still needs to come into its own. I've seen a lot of comments in here that says it's going to be a long time. It's going to be a long time before we do away with fossil fuel vehicles. And I don't disagree with that, but I still think that EV cars are going to still grow. I'm thinking that the story of rising gas prices are going to get people at least thinking about it. I'm also seeing that a lot of lower end pricing cars are coming out as far as EVs are concerned. Tesla came up with a new Y series car that is a lot less money than a lot of their other cars for the purposes of trying to put these EVs into people's hands. That argument has come up. That argument has come up a lot in the chat that, EVs are too expensive. Folks, have you started looking at the prices of the EVs? How many of you that think that EVs are becoming more affordable? Type of 1. If you think that they're still too expensive, type of 2. All right. If you think that EVs are becoming more affordable, type of 1. If you think that they're still just way too expensive, type of 2. Even if you'd become the Fed chair, Glenn, they'd lie about you anyway, and you'd be portrayed as the super devil. Oh, yeah. Sigh. Wow, the super devil. So a lot of people still think that EVs are super expensive. All I say to all of you guys out there, go check them out. There's a lot of different companies, especially in America. You got Ford going down that path. You got GM going down that path. You've got Hyundai is not here, so to speak, but BMW is not here, so to speak as well. Go look at the prices on a lot of these cars. They are coming down in price. Government will want to charge you a tax on every mile you drive on top of the high prices of the Yeah, listen, I don't know if I believe that, John. I don't know if I believe that, but you know something? I know that our government is going to try to make money the best way they can on everybody out there. So if people are worried about the price of gas, have you looked at the price of replacement batteries? And MR Consulting, I don't think it's as expensive as you think, because these batteries last a lot longer than I think most people think. I've been seriously considering doing a video on our channel about the cost of maintenance on an electric vehicle. I just haven't got all my ducks in a row yet, but I'm thinking, and by looking at some of the analysis that I have, that it's not as expensive as what people think, my friend. All right, but until I can get all my ducks in a row, I'll let you know. John says, since batteries only last about 10 years and cost a ton to replace, it's even worse. So between MR Consultant and Roger, I'm going to see if you're both right or wrong, and I might have to do a video on it. All right, I may have to do a video on it. I'm looking forward to that one, Glenn says, Roger. Government will come for your firstborn. Wow, Maria, that's wow. Rather than buying EV stocks, buy nickel stocks, Vail, BHP. And I just saw something, a story on nickel stocks that wasn't very good. It was a passing story. All right, let me go look at these stocks. All right, let's go take a look at these stocks. These are clean energy stocks, and they're not EVs. These are, wow, REGI. Did they get bought? I think they did. Let's go peep that out. It looks like they got bought. 7-day analyst downgrading. No. Why Chevron rose? Son of a gun. Oh, did they buy? They did buy. Wasn't Chevron buying them? That's bigger renewable power. Sit there. There it is. That's what I thought. All right. Chevron bought them. That's what it is. I'm going to sit there and I'm looking like that company just shut down. So Chevron, which is an oil company, went after renewable. I'm telling you, folks, more and more people are moving towards this direction. No matter what you think, they are moving in this direction. I'm just putting that out there. You know, you can't fight it. You can't fight it. It's going to happen. All right. So that's my opinion. All right. So let's get back into REGI. That makes sense. So if Chevron bought them, REGI probably is off the grid from that perspective. Plug sitting in a little bit of a channel. I think I like that it's above the 20-day exponential moving average. Would love to see it break above that value of 26.93. Nice update today. Very little wick. Volume is okay, but I'd like to see if it can break above that level. Electric cars destroy the entire used car market for very cheap used cars because the replacement batteries are too expensive. Between everybody saying that, I am going to do a video. I gotta get all my ducks in a row. And the video will either prove you right or may enlighten you in regards to maybe it's not as expensive as you think. So we'll see. That is something that I definitely got to keep. Joey, write that down. I got to keep my eye out on that for a story. Aura, which is energy clean, Ormat. I like that stock moving up. Earnings per share is a little higher than it was 3 months ago. Volume is pretty good as the stock's price is going up. It's trading at 79.58. I'd like to see it get above that 81.80 mark, but love the move. And again, it's not an EV, but it's in the clean energy space. And last but not least, we've got Blink charging. Again, the charging network is going to be built up. States are giving out money to build these up so that cars can get from point A to point B without being stuck on the road. This is going to play a major part in the EV revolution. The revolution will not be televised. All right. Electric energy grid will need much dinero to upgrade for all EVs. And Mark, the money is going out from the bill that the president passed. Money is going out to the states so that they can upgrade that whole grid. EV will go the same path as diesel, cheap in the beginning, and now it costs more than gasoline. We'll see. And I know Energy is like, let's go Voltacharge and made a new partnership with Tanger to develop more locations for shopping areas. You know, you all know that when you go to a hotel now, there's a parking area for electric vehicles. You see that now, right? I go to the VA because I get my medical care through the VA. There's a space or spaces for electric vehicles. It is coming. I don't think we can stop that train from going down the road. There's no way we can stop this train from going down the road. All right, so I'm putting that out there. All right, so those are my stocks in the clean energy space. You notice that none of them are EVs, but REGI was at the top of the list, but it got bought by Chevron. All right, let's get to my next story. Where's my next story? Next story, huh? Where's this? I can close that out. I don't need that. My next story is on healthcare stocks. Pfizer, Moderna, BioNTech, Novavax, those companies. Pfizer seeks the FDA nod for a fourth COVID shot in older adults. I think, where do I want to go with this? I'm vaccinated. I got 2 shots. My wife is vaccinated with 2 shots and a booster. I am thinking that I am not going to go the booster route. And all this is, and again, if I step on toes, I apologize. All this is the ability to make more money on a bad thing. I think that's the only way that I can say it. COVID is a bad thing. At one time I had it. All right. I actually got it after I was vaccinated. The results were a couple of days of just bad stuff, and then it went away. All right. The majority of the people I know, for the most part, have had it. Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna are all making a ton of money. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if they can continue to push for another shot, they're going to make more money. All right, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Where are we going to find electric power to run all these charging stations? The generation sector is getting hammered by excess regulations and eco controls. I think that the only way to power these stations is you're going to have to release some of that regulation. That's the only way, or else the grids will be overpowered. Roger, that's the, it is going to be what it is. Or guess what? We go to more nuclear power, which is why uranium is probably it's going to be another hot spot to be. About drug companies. No, James, I'm not saying that. That's not where I'm going. I won't say that. That's why I said it the way that I said it, James. I'm not saying that. That's why I said it the way that I said it. All right. So for a fourth COVID shot, Moderna says Japanese government has ordered an additional 70 million doses of its COVID booster. That's a lot of money. There's nothing about a fake agenda. I am not going down that path. Not at all. The vaccines help. But how many more variations? I don't know. What am I looking for? How many more different shots are going to be needed? All right. So it's not in a fake agenda at all. All right. Now, there's another side of this that I don't know how many know this story. Aluminum files patent infringement lawsuits against Pfizer and Moderna. How many of you have heard this story? Type of 1. How many of you have not heard this story? Type of 2. All right. How many of you have heard that there is a company out there going against Pfizer and Moderna? Type of 1 for patent infringement. How many of you have not heard this story? Type of 2. I'm loving the 2s, baby. This is what it's all about. To bring this kind of information. I'm loving that. Lee said he did hear, but I'm loving that. I'll read a little bit of the story. Filed lawsuits in Delaware federal court against Pfizer and Moderna, declaring that their multi-billion-dollar, ta-da, it's all about the money, COVID vaccines infringe on one of its patents. All right, so this is a company out there. There's a company out there that's saying that, they want a piece. Listen, they want a piece of the pie. The pie is big. And somebody says, no, you stepped on my toes, bro. Yeah, bruh. Not bro. Now it's bruh, right, Joey? It's not. Nobody says bro anymore. Is it bruh? It's bruh. All right, so you're like, yeah, you stepping on my toes, bruh. Yo, I need a little piece of that. Break me off a little bit. So that's interesting. Keep your eyes on this. I don't know how far this goes, but keep your eyes on this. Think about it. Pfizer and Moderna got money. So I think you're going to have high-powered lawyers fighting this out in regards to that. So I wanted to bring this to the table. Why do you think we watch, says Martin. Oh, man, that's all right. Why do you think we watch? Because I do try to make this, 1, entertaining, but 2, I want to make sure that you guys learn something. I don't want to go over stuff that you already know and be like, hell, why did I spend my time here, right? And that's why I always tell you guys, if you can, share the link to the live stream so that we can bring new faces in here so that they can be updated to stuff that they don't know about as well. And I'm with you, Energy. Settlement is going to be most likely, because I'm sure between Pfizer and Moderna, they'll be like, yo, listen, bruh, we got a good thing going here. We got a good thing going in that we are helping people. All right, I want to say it the right way. In that we are helping people, and we'll break you off a little bit. All right, Columbia, South Carolina real estate says like the stream, and I appreciate that as well. I totally appreciate that. Glenn, I watch, and I'm not a VV person. Mark, we got to change that. You need to hit that link. Joey, put that link in there for the 99 cent. Mark, I would love for you to become a subscriber to the VectorVest software if it's only for 30 days. Try it out. All right, try it out for 30 days. That's my opinion. All right, that's my opinion. Abus filed lawsuit against Moderna, says Devendra. I didn't see anything about that. But if it pops up, I will definitely bring it to the table. But this company came across the news. So, and another company that's probably taking the world by storm is Eiger's single dose. Joey, say that word, because I'm not going to. Joey, spell that out. What's that say? Use your letters, Joey.
Nah, bro.
Nah, bro, you're not going to say it. All right. Peginterferon. Peginterferon? Lambda. Any medical people out there? Did I say that right? Any medical people out there? Peginterferon lambda. COVID-19 reduced risk of hospitalization or ER visits by 50% in predominantly vaccinated population. I'm the vaccinated population. JB says, yes, I said it right. Woo! Hey, way to go. I'm liking that. I'm going to cheer. Listen, I just used my letters. Joey and I were putting some information together, and we were trying to come up with what we were trying to say. And he says, and or. I said, Joey, those are conjunctions. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? And hooked him. And I was like, wow, who knew that Schoolhouse Rock was going to help me put something together in my days in VectorVest? So it was kind of funny. Joey, you agree with that, right?
Yes, I did laugh.
Yeah, well, it was funny. It was funny. It was funny. So Eiger is moving. I don't know for how long. I think that it's news driven, but if the tests can show that it helps, it could be a stock that people are going to get into. So let's go take a look at the stocks in the list. And what are the stocks that I have? By the way, the drug stocks, this sector is up 16% in the last 2 weeks. So it's companies within this sector that is definitely moving this higher. All right. How about Pfizer? It's towards the top of my list. All right, there it is. There's Pfizer. There's the Eiger stock, Eiger Pharmaceutical. For it to be a low dollar stock that's way overvalued, most of them are, but it's amongst the leaders. And a lot of it is because of relative timing. The stock is going up and up and up and up. There's Moderna. And what other stock am I looking for? TCBP. It's the last stock in here. TCBP. Now, there was a story on it. I don't know why I like this. I liked it for a reason. It's at the bottom of my list. I got to figure out why I liked it. I think I was looking for some lower dollar stocks in this space because I got $168 stock, 53. I wanted to find a couple of lower dollar stocks in here for me to look at as well. Peg interferon lambda. Thank you, Richard. It's peg interferon lambda. See, I knew we had some medical people in here. A Hawaii football player is a, what is that? I can't say that. Can I say that? I can't say that.
That says lamb, though.
Lambda. Lambda. I said it right.
Lambda.
Listen, it's fa la 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 bamba.
It's not. All right.
Okay, listen. I said it almost right. I said it better than you, and you didn't even want to say it. All right, let's go put this on a 3-month graph. Pfizer's on the rise, recently bouncing off a level of support and going above the 20-day exponential moving average. I'm not feeling earnings on it. Now, you would think that earnings would rise. I remember, this is our forecasted earnings. You would think that earnings would rise with the money that they're making. Maybe they're making money, but at a low. That's what I'm looking for. They're selling. So the sales are up with all of the vaccines that they're selling, but maybe they're not selling them at an exacerbated price. Joey, write that down. That's the big word for you. All right? That's a big word. Exacerbated. You spell it out. Just use your exacerbated. You can spell it. Biggest news of the day, GME earnings after hours today. Yep. And you know something, on midday market yesterday, I talked a little bit about meme stocks. I'm still not a fan of either one of them right now. I owned them both. And they both lost me a lot of freaking money. A lot. So I do like, in regards to especially those two meme stocks, I do like the things that both of them did. AMC bought into a mining company that was a troubled mining company. And I do like that GME let everybody know that they had a big stake in Bed Bath & Beyond. What I do like from the meme stock perspective, is that these companies are going outside of what they normally do to raise money and to do better business practices. But if you look at both companies, negative earnings. Both companies are not making money. So from that perspective, that's just my 2 cents on it. And I think that, and there was another story that GME was talking about what's going on with the shorts and all of that stuff, that the government needs to look into it. I'm all on board with that as well. If these companies were overshorted the way that they were and they're going to go up, I would rather time the trade to get in now. There's a lot of people who've lost, who are down a lot of money, who ain't getting out of the position. I would rather time the trade to get in when all of this is going to happen, if it does, air quotes, if it does. And if it does, then we can all make money in this. But you know something? I'm in a stock right now that I'll talk about later that I'm up 100% on in a couple of days. A real stock. And I'm not calling AMC and GME not real stocks. I'm calling them as hopeful stocks because a lot of people are emotionally tied to them. And one of the things that we learn about in the stock market is you don't want to be emotionally tied to a stock. All right, so I put that out there that way. What else is here? There's the Eiger trade. Look at that move, news driven. I don't know if it's got the wherewithal to keep going. We'll see. Big gap up, big open candle, a wick at the top, a wick at the bottom, a lot of volume. The news, this was strictly news driven. Watching the volume prior to now, earnings per share is going up. I like that as well. Japan just ordered 16 million. I know, Lou, I already said that. I already put that out there that Japan just ordered a lot of vaccine from Moderna. Be like a Vulcan on Star Trek when it comes to stock. There you go. I'm with that. All right. And I hear you. It's only a loss if you sell. All right. It's a loss because I can't use that money to go put it into a stock that's making me money. Like the stock that I'm going to talk about a little later if you want to know more about that. That's what I'd rather have my money. And as an investor and as learning from the one and only Dr. Bart DeLito, the things that I've learned don't apply to what's going on with AMC and GME. That's just real. And I attribute a lot of what I know about the market to Dr. Bart DeLito and reading the Green Book, Stock Strategies and Common Sense, and reading a book by Alexander Elder, which is pretty much the psychology behind investing. That's just me. Moderna, just like Pfizer, earnings are going down, but I do like the move coming off support, going above the 20-day. A little bit of indecision in the stock today. So that's where we stand. And the last one, TC, there was a reason why I like this stock. It was a low dollar stock. I think at the time that I saw it, it was going above the 20-day exponential moving average, but a lot of pullback. So I just look at that. All right. Let's close out of that. Let's get into my next article. My next article is on, electronic stocks. No, there it is. There's the story on TC Bio. There it is. All right. TC Bio announces the FDA orphan drug status granted for Hey, Joey, say that word.
Omnimmune.
I hate you because you said it. That's what it sounds like. I'm the moon. Anyway, it was up 28% to on the moon. It was up 28% today. That's why I looked at it, but it was a lot of give back today. So this was news driven. The big wick on the top of the candle that we looked at on TCB, TCBP was all the give back. So this was strictly news driven. The stock didn't have any fundamentals behind it. It was strictly news driven, and it gave a lot of it back. All right, so now my next group of stocks is electronic stocks. This sector is up over 13% in the last 2 weeks. And could it be time to buy some of these stocks? So the stock that I'm going to talk about, one of the four, Axcelis announces multiple shipments of Purion high energy system to multiple CMOS image sensor manufacturers. I looked at it and said, what the flying flip is that? So I went down, President CEO, we continue to maintain a leading position in the image sensor market. Our growth in this segment is clear and sustainable and is tied to long-term trends and demand for products in the growing mobile and automotive markets. So, announced today to ship Purion, located in Asia. The Purion VXE is an extended energy range solution for the industry-leading Purion XE high. Man, I read all of that and was like, yo, the stock is moving. I tried to get a little bit of understanding, and then I watched this, and I was like, I didn't want to watch that anymore. And it's headquartered in Massachusetts. It's been providing innovative, high-productivity solutions for the semiconductor industry for over 40 years. It's dedicated to developing, enabling process applications through the design, manufacturing, complete life cycle support, blah, 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 blah. So that's what it does. All right. So it caught my attention in that because it was moving. All right. So let's go take a look at the stocks in that space. And in this space, again, this is electronic stocks, and it's up about 13% in the last 2 weeks. Let's go find out where these stocks are. ACLS, number 2 in the list. So that was what the story was all about. ACLS, the number 2 in the list by VST. That's not so bad, right? AOSL, number 4 in the list. Alpha and Omega, VST at 1.37. HIMX, further down the list with a VST of 1.15. And the last one is AEHR, right behind it with a VST of 1.11. So all of these stocks have VSTs above 1. One is a sell recommendation, which is AEHR. All of these companies have positive earnings and grow their earnings in double-digit clips. The space is moving, all right? And could this be the right time to buy these stocks? I do like that ACLS and AOSL are towards the top of the list of the 23 stocks that I have. All right, so that last comment was stuff full of sarcasm. It was probably little words, okay, anyway. So let's go right-click on these stocks, view the stock graph. Let's go look at them in 3-month graph. Woof. So ACLS is amongst the leaders in the list by VST. A lot of channeling over the last 3 months. I did recently, over the last 2 days, break above the 20-day exponential moving average. Had follow through today. Did break through a level of resistance of 72.63. I'd like to see if it's got the wherewithal to break through the 3-month high. Earnings per share is higher than it was 3 months ago, which is a good thing. All right, so the company is making money. I'd like to see if it can say if this technology and the orders that they got for this technology is a good thing, it should keep the stock's price running higher. AOSL in the same situation, sitting in channeling type of a situation. Right stop at the level of resistance of 56.12 is currently above the 20-day exponential moving average for the last 2 days. I do like the rising earnings. Volume could be better. Stock moved from a sell to a hold to a buy. It's on the move up. What else is in this space? HIMX, another channeling stock. A lot of stocks are channeling. Another channeling stocks, but above the 20-day. So you know the cool thing is about a lot of these stocks that we're looking at is that, 1, they are coming off a level of support. 2, they are running above a level of a 20-day exponential moving average, and they have follow through. These could all be setups, especially if the industry or the sector is on the rise. The stocks within the industry or sector are making these stocks rise. So these could be great opportunities to get in at a lower price prior to the move higher, especially if the sector is on the rise, right? What I don't like about this is that the earnings per share is going lower than it was 3 months ago. That's not a good sign. And then we look at AEHR, also in the same space, bouncing off a level of support, not quite above the 20-day exponential moving average, just quite now. Volume is okay. Earnings per share is higher than it was 3 months ago. These are stocks that I at least want you to keep on your radar because the sectors are on the rise. These are movers in the sectors. I know, David, HIM, I just talked about that, right? So even though I like what I saw on the stock, I will keep my eyes on stocks that have falling earnings per shares. That's not what I want to be with. Karen says, be careful with drug studies that are not comparing apples to apples or comparing to a placebo. Karen, for me, especially not being in the medical field, I can only go off of the news that I have. And you're right. You got to be careful. You got to do your due diligence. You know, as Patrick has always told me in regards to the meme stocks, do your due diligence. And I think that goes the same for the medical stocks as well. All right, goes for those. So, all right. Let's get to my next story. That's my Southern accent. That's my Southern Irish accent. Can I get a Southern Irish accent? It'd be like, you got pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, and green clovers. That's straight Southern. That's got no Irish. Can I do an Irish Southern accent? You got pink hearts, yellow stars. No, I can't. I just can't. All right, let's get to my next story. I tried. I thought about it. I tried. Next one. Story is about chemical stocks, fertilizers. That's on the rise too. Fertilizer stocks up 12% over the last 2 weeks, and it is garnering some attention. CF Industries boosts U.S. fertilizer shipments as war cuts Russian exports. So we got to start pushing out more if we ain't getting it from Russia. Interesting. Why didn't we just produce more here than having to wait for Russia to export them? Interesting, right? So that's my story, my one story on this space. Let's go take a look at some other stocks in this space. So I'm going to be looking at Mosaic, number 3 in the list by VST. Going to look at CF, number 5 in the list by VST. ADES, Advanced Emission, something or other, and CRKM towards the bottom of the list. I did want to give you some lower dollar stocks in that space. This one's $1.53 with a value of $2.30. It's undervalued, but it's a sell recommendation. What I do like as well, though, is that it does have positive earnings, double-digit earnings growth, and it's got good upside potential. This space, if the space is moving, this stock could have a good opportunity to make you some money, especially if the space is moving. All right, so let's right-click. Let's view the stock graph. Let's pop that up real quick, put it on a 3-month graph. There's Mosaic, nicely moving higher, has been above the 20-day for a minute, bounced off a level of support, still moving up. Right now, a little bit of a consolidation. It's still a little bit of a consolidation, and we'll see what we can do as far as breaking above that, and I'd like to see better volume. Earnings per share is not what I would like to see on this company. Now, if the company or the space is moving and they're not making money, earnings per share is at $6.47 with an earnings growth rate of 39. So the company is being run well enough in that they're making money and growing their money. Are they not capitalizing on their way to make money, or are they just getting by? That's what, I don't know. All right, let's go to the next stock. CF looks a lot the same way with the earnings as well. The space is on the rise. A little bit of consolidation here, but both of them, CF and Mosaic, are both above the 20-day exponential moving average. ADES, Advanced Chemical Specialty, I like this a little better from an earnings perspective. Above the 20-day exponential moving average. So pullback day today, it got above and couldn't close above this level of resistance of 653. But I do like the earnings. I'd like to see this stay above the 20-day exponential moving average and move higher. The stock did move from a sell to a hold. Just a down day today. Just a down day today. And let's go to the last stock. CRKN in that space. Earnings don't look so good, but it does have good upside potential. The safety's below 1. The stock's not in an uptrend. But I'm thinking that if the space is moving, a low dollar stock like this could be pulled up. The rising tide floats all boats. All right, the rising tide floats all boats. You guys are just talking all about in here all together, and I like that. Fertilizer is petrol-based, says Kenneth. All right, and that's fine. So if that's the case, then why are my companies, like Mosaic and CF not making money? Because oil is going up, they should be making money. That's my opinion in regards to that. All right, so let's clear that out. Let's get to my last story. My last stories are all about stocks, my stocks of interest, stocks that have caught my attention. I do that every week as I bring to the table some stocks for you to keep your eyes on. All right. And news-driven wise, Wallbox, EV space. Wallbox for Q4 revenues grow over 165%. Shares leap 10%. That was today. And it's an EV charging company. It's an EV charging company. They blew the earnings out the box, which hopefully, for Patrick's sake, I think that GME needs to do that as well. But you know something, and when it comes down to both earnings for GME and AMC, did they make money? What's the guidance? All of that kind of stuff. So I look at a company like Wallbox. They blew it out the water, but we're going to take a look at it. Lennar. Also, from an earnings perspective, strong quarterly results as housing market outperforms. All right, so we're going to take a look at that stock. Steel Dynamics, STLD, gains 1.25% on positive Q1 guidance. Now, as I watch, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. As I watch companies meeting or beating their earnings expectations, with the rise of interest rates, it will affect the bottom line for companies. Two things you're going to see within the next two earnings sessions for Q2 and Q3. One, you're going to see a whole bunch of buybacks of stocks to help make the bottom line look better. Number one. And number two, you're going to see a lot more mergers and acquisitions. We're already starting to see the M&As pick up. That's going to pick up even more going into the second and third quarter. I want you guys to keep your eyes on both of those. And there's a third thing. In order for companies to look more attractive to people, you're going to see a lot more dividend raises. All right. If you guys believe in all of those three things, type a 1 in the room. All right, that there's going to be more buybacks going into the second and third quarter, that there's going to be a big pickup in mergers and acquisitions, and that companies are going to do more with raising dividends. Those three things, if you think those three things are going to happen, which I really, really, really do, you got to keep your eyes on these things, type of 1. That's going to be big because the rise in interest rates are going to affect a company's ability to grow their earnings and make money. All right? Because it now becomes a little harder for them to borrow money to grow the company. So when people, especially if anybody out there is new, why the interest rate issue is so important is because interest rates are so low, it's cheap to buy or to borrow money. And if that's the case, I can keep borrowing money and keep doing things, especially building up my company. But when you start to restrict the ability or slow down the ability to borrow money, that's going to hurt my company's bottom line because I still got to borrow the money. But if I got to pay it back at a higher interest rate, it takes money out of my pocket. So that was for the benefit of the people who are newer investors in the market. That was for the benefit of the newer people in the market that are in here. I was thinking Zim would be a good purchase, however, did not know about the tax rate. I still like Zim. I still like Zim, especially because of its dividend being a low dollar stock with the dividend. But you make a lot of money on that short term gains. It's gonna kick you in the butt. All right. So And one other stock in here, another earnings, Rumble On smashes Q4 estimates, shares up 18%. Now, there's one stock that I want to talk about that is not in the list. How many of people watched the video last Friday of the viewer's choice video for the stocks that a lot of our YouTube customers put out that we needed to look at and that we did a video on? How many of you saw that video? Type of one in the room. How many of you saw that video? And I think I'm going to do a second part of it this week on Friday because I've been getting a lot of stocks in the comments on my videos to look at. So I think I'm going to do a part 2 tomorrow. You guys have put up some good stocks. One of the stocks that were talked about, and it was given to me, hopefully he's here, Joshua Sullivan. Are you here? Joshua and Sandy, you want to go watch it? It's out there. It's out there on the YouTube. You can go check it out. Joshua Sullivan, are you here? Joshua gave me a stock, MULN. Gave me a stock. I'm going to put it in the list. I needed to give it an honorable mention because both Joey and I are trading the stock. After we saw the video, both Joey and I are trading the stock. All right. And look at the stock is up 38% today. As I look at, I own the stock. And I told Joey I got out of it yesterday. I thought I got out of it. As I look at this stock, one, it's a low dollar stock. On this stock, I am currently up. Where is it at? Mullen. I'm currently up 90.63%. And that's, when did we buy it, Joey? You remember?
It was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. The stock was kicking butt. Mullen, M-U-L-N, this stock right here. So I'm going to look at it as one of my stocks of interest because that came out of the video and it came from a subscriber. That came out of the video. Let's go look at it. Huh?
Maybe it was Friday because that was Friday's video, right?
It was Friday's video. I don't think we got into it until early in the week, though. All right, it's PANL is another good stock. Actually, I'm going to type that in here too. PANL. Where did we found that in midday market yesterday, didn't we? Miss McClintock, didn't we find that? Didn't we find that yesterday? All right, so let's highlight all of the stocks that are my stocks of interest. Where's Wallbox? There it is. There's Mullen, which I want to look at. What else is in my list? Lennar. There it is. STLD. That should be towards this top. There it is. STLD. Rumble. That should be somewhere in the middle. There it is. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should have 6 stocks highlighted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing one. Which one am I missing? Oh, PANL. All right, so these are all stocks of interest. All right, PANL we found on midday market yesterday. Let's go take a look at these stocks. View the graphs. All right, let's go put this on a 3-month graph. Wallbox was news. All right, down day today, a lot of selling pressure. All right, so it's a stock that I still want you to keep your eyes on from the news perspective. The volume is there. The earnings is there. Oh, it's still a relatively new stock as well. All right, it's still a relatively new stock as well. A lot of, hey, David, what's the Glenism for this? What's the Glenism for this pattern? There's a Glenism for it. Anybody who is part of our jockey club, our live day trading room, look at this pattern. What's the Glenism pattern for that? I want to see how many people are going to type it in the room because you know what it is. While you're doing it, I'm going to take a little sip of my Cafe Bustelo, the official, unofficial coffee of VectorVest. What's that trading pattern? I know somebody out there knows it. I can't wait for you forever to tell me. Sigh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. Not Jagosity. It's another, not Jagosity, Loch Nessy. There you go, David. My Loch Nessy. Looks like the Loch Ness Monster, right? This is my Loch Nessy pattern, which means that the stock's price is just going all over the place. So you just got to pay attention to it. I like that it's still above, even on the pullback, it's still above the 20-day exponential moving average. A lot of selling pressure. Look at the big volume on it, but the earnings still looks good. It's a double bottle. What is a double bottle? Who comes up with that? That's not even a Glenism. That's not even a Glenism. Head and Shoulders, it is a Head and Shoulders, isn't it? Head, shoulder, shoulder. Oh, and it's broken. Where's the neckline? Somewhere down here. It hasn't broken below the neckline yet. So interesting. I always find it hard to look for a cup and saucer and a Head and Shoulders and a blah, 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 and a blah, blah, blah. What other stocks? Mullen. So the story that I did on this was from one website said that it was a high potential, low dollar growth stock. All right. And I looked at the relative value. I looked at the relative safety and I said, So could it be a pump and dump? Could be. Could it just be that the article that it came from is pushing the stock's price higher? Could be. A lot of volume, a lot of sell back or pushback today. But I think we got into it somewhere back here when we saw the stock's price jump up bigly. So could it be because the earnings ain't there? The fundamentals ain't there. Could this be just news driven? Absolutely. And I don't remember where I got the article from. I don't know where I got the article from. Mark says many calls on Mullen. So people are very bullish on the stock. Outside of the news, thanks to Mark letting me know, it looks like it's got some traction from people. We'll see what happens. David says, I probably don't win a mug though, do I? What are you talking about? Where can you buy your coffee? I get my coffee from a subscriber to our VectorVest software, Kirby. Kirby's usually not here at these, but Kirby, discountcoffee.com. Discountcoffee.com is where I get my coffee from. And I try to always support the people that support us. But Discount Coffee, that is Kirby. Kirby's good guy. I actually met him when we went down to Florida. My wife and I met him and his wife. So, all right. So Mullen, it's a big moving stock right now. And again, I couldn't find the article. It was in a different live stream. Just be careful with it. Again, between Joey and I, we are up nicely on the stock. Lennar, huh?
Are you gonna get out?
I don't know yet. Joey's asking me if I should get out. I don't know yet. Tell you what I'm going to do, Joey. Greedy. Did you just call me greedy?
I said maybe.
Did you just call me? I will give you a virtual punch. That's what I'm going to give you. I do have a level of support here sitting at about, what is that? $2. That's probably a good level of getting out. Touch. Level of support, and it isn't really a level of support. But right now, I'm thinking that's, if you do own it, if it gets down to about $2, I'll still come across with good little gain on it. If it goes down or below that, I'll probably get out. All right. Lennar beat, huh?
Clear that chat, please.
Oh, yeah. Lennar beat earnings. Could it be enough to make the stock's price go higher? Volume is there. The earnings are rising. Even though they've fallen since January, they're still higher than it was 3 months ago. It did go from a sell to a hold. I would keep my eye on it. All right. Wow. Steel dynamics. We all know that steel and petroleum is what's been moving. Steel is still moving. Look at that. Look at that. I like to move it. Hey, how many of you people saw the short that Patrick put out on YouTube? The short video with me singing, which was kind of funny. Type a 1 in the room if you saw it. Type a 1 in the room if you saw it. I think that was hilarious. It was really good. There were a couple other videos that he wanted to put out that I was strongly against. But this one, I said, okay, we'll go with that. I know I'm not being greedy, Steve. I'm not being greedy. Weird. Mullen calls have 0 open interest in May, but thousands for all other expirations. Oh, really? So Joey puts the link up there to the short. Glenn gets greedy with reversed Hummer candles. Nah, I told you I got a price to get out. If it goes below $2, I'll get out.
Play it for him.
Can I play it? All right. I clicked the link. Oops, something went wrong. It says, oops, I did it again. Hold on. It won't let me play it, Joey. What did you do? You broke it.
I guess so. Sorry.
All right. Oh, I lost my chat now, too. Sigh. Where's my chat?
It opens for me.
Where's it at? Bring it.
I'm saying the link that I sent you opens for me.
You take the chat back.
Hang on one sec.
All right.
All right.
Can I take it?
You got it.
And I got to take my chat so I can see. All right, Glenn gets greedy. I don't get greedy. I'm not greedy. Hey, Joey, do you think I'm greedy?
I mean, you're up, what, 100% on that thing?
No, I was up 100%. I'm only up 90% now.
Only 90.
I'm only up. Let me check. I'm up. Damn, I'm only up 82.75%. I might have to take some of that off the table. All right, I might have to. I gave myself that $2 price. What else is in here? Rumble on. You know that's like a hookup site, right? For like older people, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, it beat earnings.
Sounds like you know.
What? Listen, Joey, you know, Joey says it sounds like I know. Can they hear you?
Yeah.
No, they can. Listen, I've got to do research, Joey. That's what it is. You know that I got to research all of these stocks, Joey.
Okay.
All right, don't be trying to put me out there like that. Holy smokes. Don't even try to put me out there like that. So how do you know about that?
Phone next time I see you.
Yeah, you can check my phone all you want. I do research on these stocks. Don't you?
Yeah, you gotta download. Gotta make an account. You have to make an account to do your research. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I hate you. I so hate you. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I think it's a hookup site. Anyway, it's above. No, my wife is on the phone. What should I tell her? Oh my gosh, I'm turning red, and that's so hard for me to do. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. Wow. Anyway, this was an earnings play. It wasn't enough to move it from a sell to a hold. Earnings don't look so good on it, though. Are they making money? They are making money, and they're growing their earnings at a clip of 42% a year. They're making money. It's just pulling back a little bit right now. I would still keep my eye on it, especially if it beat earnings. And then here's the transportation ship is moving. This company is moving. Does this have a dividend? Yes. This is a $5.21 stock that pays a dividend, that does pay a dividend. And I want to see if the dividend is a safe dividend. What's the dividend safety? 57. Holy smokes. This is probably in the same category of Zim. All right, that pays a dividend, that the Zim dividend is safe. This is a $5.21 stock that's got a dividend of 20 cents and got a dividend safety of 57. Yo, that now it's a down day today. It's a down day today. It still is above the 20 exponential moving average. This is the reason why these are stocks of interest. These are stocks that I want you to keep your eyes on. I'm not telling you to go out to buy any of these stocks right away. I do want you to keep your eyes on it, and that's why I have a whole section of stocks of interest. All right, with that, man, we covered a lot of stuff in here today. We covered a lot of stuff in regards to what was going on in the market, what the Fed said, how that's going to affect things. I think that it's still my opinion that it's a tough pill to swallow to try to push inflation from 8% down to 2% by the end of the year with only 1.25 basis points of raising of interest rates. But now I want everybody else to know this as well. Even if we do 3 to 4 or 5 to 6 interest rate hikes, we're still going to be historically low. I don't want you guys to lose sight of that. We're still going to be historically low, but I think since 2018 to now, 6 years, I think companies have gotten used to the lower interest rates. This is going to be a change of culture. Even if you go from 0 to 25 up to, let's say, 2 or 3 percent in raise, that's going to be a big change in culture. Even though the rates will still be low, it's a perception thing. It is a perception and how it affects your ability to make money. Rajiv, I'm not going to look at individual stocks because I talk about Neil. There's so much that I talk about. It's been difficult for me to go look at individual stocks at the end of the session. All right, Patrick does a great job of it on the 11 o'clock session with the mobile app. He does go through and look at individual stocks for you guys. 18 to 22 is 4 years, not 6. Dang it. I can't do math worth a damn. Sorry, thank you, Sandy. It's not 6 years, it's only 4 years. It still is a change of culture. My math skills are horrible. Anybody who's in the jockey club, when I got to calculate price on the stock, I'm the one that struggles. Sigh, but I'm a genius other than that. So the math side of it, I can give up on that. All right, thank you, Sandy. All right, thank you. So gas prices, I'm still looking to see if our government can come through with the states doing a gas tax holiday and the federal government coming on board with that. That could be a big saving for us back at the gas pumps. But if it's a tax holiday, it's only going to be for a short amount of time. All right. So gas prices, inflation, interest rates, those are the hot topics of the market today. And for the purposes of Patrick, make sure you don't miss out on the GME earnings call today after the market close, after hours. All right, I already gave you my 2 cents on it. You guys make your own decision. All right, you guys make your own decision. Math is good. Attention span is short. Yeah, that's probably it too. Just Joey, stop laughing because I know you are. All right, so as we close out,
Squirrel.
Well, squirrel. Look, squirrel. Huh? What? Anyway, all of the major indices are up. The VectorVest composite is taking the lead right now. Remember, we track over 9,000 stocks in the market. We track exactly 9,161 stocks. That's the big mover right now. Where's the money going? Petroleum is back on the rise again. Petroleum sector is up 4% today. Steel sector up 2% today. Metal products up 1.86% today. All of the top 5 sectors in the database are up today. So gas holiday pays us 3 times that later on. Listen, I'd rather take a little bit of help at the pump now. The only other way to overcome high gas prices is to increase our drilling, either whether it's fracking or open up the construction on the XL. It is what it is. Again, I'm not picking anybody's side, whether Republican or Democrat. That's not what I do. I just bring the stories to you, and I look at both sides in the coin, both sides of the coin. I look at both sides of the coin. All right, so PANL went down $1 or 20% a couple of days ago. How do you sit through it with big dividends like Zim? The stock usually plunges after ex-dividend date or day off. Absolutely, Beaver Tail. Absolutely. So PANL, if I'm not going to bring that back up because if I did that, it would take away from the person who wanted me to look at another stock. You don't. That's why you have stops in place. So you know something? If I could make 5, 10, 15% on the stock and get out, and if the stock's price keeps going back up, I can double dip and buy back in again. So Beaver Tail, that's why you have stops in place. There's no reason why you should sit through a 20% drop in a stock. You should never do that. You should never do that. So you mean by creating more jobs? Ain't got nothing to do with the jobs. The jobs are the icing on the cake. The jobs are the icing on the cake when thinking about the fracking and all that stuff. My main goal in regards to that is just to get the oil that we need, and we can become oil independent. The icing on the cake is that it creates the jobs. All right, that's what I'm talking about. So no, again, Patrick, I ain't letting you push me into any agenda. My statements are all the facts. My statements are all the facts. All right, so that's all I got to say. All right, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Patrick, for being here as well. Don't forget, Patrick is on YouTube every Thursday from 11 to about 12 or so for the mobile app. Just in case you didn't know, if you are a subscriber to the VectorVest software, you have access to the mobile app. Everybody does. There's a lot of people out there that are just on the mobile app itself. All right, so with all of that being said, Glenn, background on the screen looks, Don't go down that, oh, Lord have mercy. I'm glad I didn't finish reading all that out. Good Lord. Man, you make me so that I don't even want to sign off anymore. But I am. All right, but I am. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Till next time, folks. See ya.